Hey guys, how you doing? Right here again. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Show. I get asked a lot of questions about RC helicopters. I've put out quite a few videos trying to help people. I've put out beginners, I've put out even some advanced stuff, part 1s and part 2s. This is just going to be kind of a throw it all at you, somebody who's looking to get into this hobby. Alright, whenever you're getting into a hobby, you want to try to get in for about as cheap as you can, and you want to make sure that you're going to like the hobby, stick with the hobby, and it's not just a quick fad. You don't want to get into a hobby and spend $1,000 on a helicopter like this, a setup. Alright. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is channels. Alright, and then I'll show you these helicopters. When you're getting into RC helicopters, there's a lot of different size controllers. What I recommend starting with is a 4-channel helicopter, because that 4-channel is going to teach you the same controls. The controls are going to be the same for this type of a helicopter, which is your last level of learning, a cyclic pitched helicopter. Now, for example, for a helicopter like this or like this, alright, you got your throttle over here, which is going to go from dead stick off to full throttle to back down. 2 movements, 1 channel. Your next is going to be your rudder, which is going to give it the ability to turn left and right. Left, or your right and left, is going to be your 2nd channel. Okay, over here you're going to have your elevator, which is going to push you forwards and send you in reverse. 3rd channel. 4th channel is going to be your ailerons, which is actually going to give you the ability to fly, okay, sideways, left and right. Now, those are your 4 channels. Alright. Now this helicopter, as I just explained on that controller, alright, up, down, 1 channel, okay, turning left and right. 2nd channel, the ability to fly forwards and the ability to fly backwards. 3rd channel, and the ability to fly sideways, left and right, is going to be your 4th channel. This is a coaxial helicopter. This is what I recommend learning on. This is a E-flite Blade MCX2. Now, the 2 good things about the Align company and the E-flite company is you can go into just about any hobby store throughout America and find parts. When you start getting into the off-name companies, which I'm not going to name because I don't want to slam any companies, you're going to be held hostage to have to buy everything online. Okay? Now, this is a great helicopter here to learn with. Alright? This is a coaxial, like I said. What makes it a coaxial, it has 2 sets of counter-rotating blades and no tail blade, okay, which makes it just sit in the air, hover, and super stable. You might say, well, how am I going to learn with something that's so easy to fly? Well, because the movements of this are the same as this. It's 4 channels. You have to learn the controls. You got to remember, too, when the helicopter turns around and faces you, the controls are all reversed. Forwards is backwards, left is right, right is left, and so forth. Okay? E-flite is a good company because, like I said, you can walk into any hobby store throughout America and get parts. Same with Align. If you want to get into this hobby, this is not going to cost you a whole lot of money to get into it. You can get into it. There are 2-channel helicopters like an Air Hog, and there are 3-channel. If you seem to have a pretty decent interest in it, I would go right for a 4-channel. This will run you maybe about $100. They'll give you the helicopter all assembled. You basically bring it home, you charge your battery, put your batteries into your controller, and you're off and flying. When you start getting into these type of helicopters, there is a lot of information to know, a lot of technical stuff to setting them up. My best advice would be to get with a good quality local hobby shop. Go in there and find out if there's going to be somebody there that's going to help you, be able to help you, have a knowledge of RC helicopters, and get with them, buy it from them, become friendly with them, and that is probably the best advice I can give you. Following instructions and getting a lot of videos off of the computer. There's some guys out there that really know what they're doing, but the big problem you run into on the computer and watching different videos is that you don't know if the information you're getting is correct or not correct, pertaining when you start getting into the more advanced helicopters. And it could lead you to a lot of frustration and a lot of anger and just a lot of discouragement towards this really nice hobby. And like I said, you have your main types of helicopters that you start. You have your coaxial, which I showed you, and then you come up to like, this is a fixed pitch, which means that your blades are in a fixed position. And you have a tail run motor, which is going to make this a little bit less stable than that, and a little bit more wanting to move around, and a little bit more erratic, which is then going to prepare you for this. The difference with this type of a helicopter, the blades are not in a fixed position. You have 3 cyclic servos controlling the head, which means if you take this off here, you can take the blades and actually twist them. With this type of a helicopter, you can't twist them. They're fixed, locked into a position. This type of a helicopter will run you probably about 160, that one about 100 to get you in the door. If you get beyond these 2 types of helicopters, a coaxial and a fixed pitch, I would definitely recommend, before you even look at one of these, is getting yourself a flight simulator. Alright, these will run you anywhere, a good quality one like the Phoenix one here, maybe about 160. It'll come with a controller. You plug it in, you put the disc in your computer and put it into your computer, hook up your controller with the cable they provide also, and you can start learning how to fly. This is about as dead on to real flying as you can get. It has airplanes, helicopters of all different sizes. It's a blast. It's not a video game. It is a real simulator, and it will help you learn how to fly one of these, so you don't have to take these out in the field and destroy them trying to learn. Get all your knowledge off of this first. And like I said, establishing yourself with a local hobby shop and getting somebody that really has a true knowledge of helicopters and really can help you is going to be your best benefit. There's a lot to know in this field, and if you get misguided information, it's going to make it a very unpleasurable hobby. So that's my 3 recommendations: is go from a coaxial to a fixed pitch to a simulator, and then once you feel some confidence on here, get yourself acquainted with a local hobby shop that is going to have somebody there that's a tech of this, and tell them, hey, if I buy it from you, can you help me out? Can you advise me? Can you train me a little bit? And you'll be pretty good. Trying to go this route in this hobby alone is really frustrating and very difficult. And there's just a lot to know. It's not brain surgery, guys, but there's just very technical, the setups and everything, and they could be pretty dangerous too. Alright? This type of a helicopter here is a $20 helicopter by SEMA. It really flies beautiful, a lot of fun in the house. But it's a 3-channel, alright, which means it's going to have the ability to go up and to go down, to fly forward and to fly backwards, and to turn left and right. It has a very good gyro in it that locks the tail. But the only problem with that is that they're going to teach you the controls a little different. You're going to have your up and down is still going to be here, but your rudder is going to take the place of what would be ailerons. and you're not going to have any ailerons here, but you can go forwards and backwards. They're a blast, but I recommend a 4-channel. 2 channels basically is going to go up, go down, and turn. 3-channel is going to go up and down, going to turn left, turn right, and fly forwards and backwards. But a 4-channel is really going to start giving you the knowledge of this type of a helicopter. And you know, if you buy something like this online, nobody's going to have parts in a hobby store. So I would definitely recommend starting with something like that, because you basically can walk into any hobby store and say, well, I need a new motor, I need a blade, I need a canopy, I need whatever. And you don't have to be held hostage of ordering everything. You know, all these helicopters come with different size batteries. LiPo batteries are a little bit different than regular batteries. You really want to read the manufacturer's instructions on these. With a LiPo battery, you really don't want to drain these down below what they tell you, or that you could have problems with them coming back to life. But I think the keys to getting into this hobby, guys, really is getting a coaxial to start with. Learn your controls, have fun learning. This isn't a hobby that you can rush and push and do quickly. You really have to take your time. And I think if you do it the proper steps and the proper procedures, you will have a lot of fun in this hobby, and you won't end up throwing one of these in the garbage. With this type of a helicopter here, we'll touch a little upon different things with it. Obviously, they're a lot more fixed than these little guys here. These have an actual tail rotor that is run by not by a motor anymore like on this, but either a torque tube or a belt will be going through the tail boom. They have servos on them, which basically is just a motor, in layman's term, that just basically moves a linkage back and forth. It's a gear-driven motor. They can come with plastic gears, which are kind of garbage. They strip easy, or you could get better quality ones that have metal gears in them. These have gyros on them, which are little computers that keep the tails under control. They have speed controllers on them. Like I said, there's just a lot more to know with this. So that's why I don't advise starting with these type of a helicopter. But getting around people and getting around either in a club, find out if you have local clubs, getting around people that are willing to help you and willing to... It's not the same putting out a video trying to explain something to somebody as it is when you have somebody right there looking over your shoulder. It's a lot easier. So definitely take my advice. Try to get with local hobby shops or around people that are into this hobby, and you see the proof is in the pudding what they have the capabilities of doing, and you can go from there. It really, like I said, these type of helicopters can get quite expensive. There's a lot of things, there's companies out there that make what's called a clone, which is like a copycat of this type of a helicopter or other helicopters. And it really comes down to you get what you pay for. Okay, there's a difference between, you know, apple and an orange, obviously. So, you know, you get what you pay for, which is something you'll find out either the easy way or the hard way. But definitely start with a coaxial helicopter. Go to a fixed pitch. From a fixed pitch, get yourself a flight simulator before you even consider something like this. Having any technical, if you're good working with your hands, is going to be a big plus. Alright, because eventually you're going to have to learn how to do things yourself, or you're going to be paying somebody else to do it for you, which can get quite expensive. Something like this, you know, a kit like this is going to probably run you about $468, $470. These batteries are about $70 a pop. You got to get a good quality charger. It's going to run you about $100 to charge these batteries. If you want to put good quality servos, receivers, controller can run you anywhere from $200 up. So they're not cheap hobbies to be in. They can get quite expensive if you don't know what you're doing and if you're not getting the right advice. They used to have AM, FM controllers. Now they have spread spectrum technology, which basically means they're kind of uninterfere. You can't interfere with the signals. You could have 100 of these helicopters flying in the field together with no interference. How that works is it's like a revolving door of channels that just keep revolving over and over, 100 different channels scanning like a CB, and that's what keeps it from being interfered with. A lot has changed in this hobby over the last 10-20 years. This is about probably the peak of the hobby right now. These are all electric helicopters. When you get to this size, you do have the choice of going with nitro, gas form helicopter. That's a choice you have to make at the time, when that time comes. But if you want to have not be frustrated in this hobby, please guys, take my advice. Get yourself a coaxial to learn with, then a fixed pitch, then a simulator. Get with a good hobby shop that's got qualified techs that are going to be able to help you and advise you and be right there for you. And then get yourself one of these down the road. And I think that you're going to have a lot of fun in this hobby. You won't give up on it. And take your time. Always remember to read your manuals. They will give you a lot of good quality information. And other than that, I don't know what else I've made countless videos trying to help people with this. I still get asked a lot of questions. This is just basically a little breakdown of different things, and just trying to get this as an entry level, get somebody going in this hobby. And I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that this little bit of information that I gave you can help you and kickstart you in the right direction. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Coaxial. Thank you.